I think that Axis Games is on the right track with a lot of things that they're currently doing with the Axis football series. In my opinion, they arguably have the best franchise mode out of any football game, though I think Legend Bowl definitely has a case to be made as well. With that being said, while they are probably the best alternative to Madden, even with them being an independent title, they still have a long way to go as far as making the game a true Madden competitor. With that being said, and with Christmas fast approaching, I feel like it'd be a good time to make a wish list for what I'd love to see in Axis Football 2024 and beyond. And if you guys feel like I'm missing anything from my list, tell me what you'd like to see in future Axis Football games in the comments section below. And if you want to follow along with my Axis Football 2023 franchise, or any of my other franchise content for that matter, hit the subscribe button and turn your notifications on to join the notification gang. Now let's get into the list. Number 1, Instant Replay. From what I've gathered, Instant Replay already is something that's going to be added to Axis Football 2024, but I still wanted to put it on the list just to really emphasize how important it could be to this game growing. Just from a casual gamer's perspective, I'm sure it'd make a lot of people happy to be able to record and save their favorite plays from their games and get a much better view of what happened on any given play so that they could show it off to their friends. And from a content creator's perspective, I feel like a big problem that I personally have is not being able to get a good screenshot for my thumbnails, and thus less people are likely to check out my videos, and thus there's less of a chance that people will actually be interested in the game. The ability to get different angles and to be able to zoom in on players for replays will give creators better thumbnails for their videos and thus will absolutely help people become more interested in the game. It's really a win-win at the end of the day. Number 2, better crowd atmosphere. While I do feel the atmosphere is a little bit better than last year's title, I still feel like the crowd is kind of lifeless during games, with the exception of select events in games like turnovers and scores. I feel like if you added different sounds into the game, like team-specific chants, defense chants on third downs, and block that kick chants on field goals and punts, for example, it could bring a new level of immersion into gameplay and really make these moments in games mean so much more. Number 3, camera angles. Don't get me wrong, I personally like the camera angles that we have in the game currently. I just feel like having more camera angles in the game would be beneficial to all players. Adding an overhead camera angle and even a sideline camera angle for players who want to watch games would definitely improve the quality of the game and give a brand new life to gameplay as well. Number 4, preseason and franchise mode. I don't have entirely too many complaints with franchise mode in the game, but the lack of preseason is one of them. I think adding preseason to franchise mode in order to evaluate your roster before you get into the regular season would be beneficial so that you know who gives you the best chance to win and to know what you need to do as far as cutting players and trading players before the season starts. Giving us an option of how many preseason games you have per season would be a great touch as well. But even just adding 3 or 4 preseason games per season would be a big boost to an already relatively strong franchise experience. Number 5, practice mode. I feel like adding a practice mode to both franchise and to the main menu as well would be super beneficial. Sure, you could just play exhibition mode if you really wanted to practice and learn the game or try out harder difficulty modes, but if you want to see what plays work and what players are the best on your team, an actual practice mode would be so much more convenient. I feel like that's one thing that EA actually does a pretty good job of with Madden, for all the rest of their faults, so seeing it in the Axis football games would be a huge addition in my opinion. Number 6, sliders. Currently, the game only allows you to change the game difficulty. One thing I'm not a huge fan of in this game is how few interceptions happen on both sides during games, and I feel like true gameplay sliders could help change that, and anything else that people have an issue with, such as blocking, pass rushing, tackling, and more. The gameplay as a whole isn't horrible on All-Star difficulty, which is what I'm playing on now, but there are a lot of things that I feel like could be improved just by adding gameplay sliders. Number 7, improved commentary. One thing I really haven't been fond of as far as playing this game is the commentary. I just feel like it's way too robotic and even lifeless at times. And while I do understand this is an indie company that we're talking about, I just feel like commentary could be done way better. Now, I understand that the guy who does play-by-play in this game is the same guy that did play-by-play for the NFL 2K games back in the early 2000s. I don't think that he needs to go away, but I do think there are plenty of improvements that can be made to commentary in this game. Number 8, more options for franchise mode. This is kind of a shot in the dark, but I think adding additional options to franchise mode would really take this game to the next level. The ability to pick up more than one team in a franchise would be a good start so that you could either control every team in the franchise, or if you have other people in the house that you want to play a franchise with and you want to compete with them, that would also be a really good option as well. Being able to have as many or as few teams in a franchise and having as many or as few games per year in a franchise would be great additions as well as having the option to either expand or contract the playoffs to as many or as few teams as you'd like. Now, I'm not expecting any of these things to happen in Access Football 2024, but these are at least things that they can think about for the future. Number 9, hurry up offense. I think the most annoying thing missing from the gameplay aspect of this game is the lack of a hurry up offense. Especially when you're down a score or two late in the game, having to huddle up between plays within 2 minutes is really time consuming, and I feel like it's something that should be in any football game. Even if it's something like in Madden where it immediately cuts to everyone being set with the clock run off, I still feel like that's something that should be in any football game, and absolutely should be in Access Football 2024. Last but not least, number 10, community creations sharing. Now, I understand that this is an indie gaming company and this might be really hard for them to pull off, but I'd love to see the day where you could actually share your community creations online as far as teams go, and maybe even in the future, eventually draft classes, which is my honorable mention, editing draft classes. But back to the community creations sharing. A lot of people, myself included, have put out pretty good created teams, and it'd be pretty cool to see people be able to use teams in draft classes from other people, similar to what you can do in NBA 2K and to a lesser extent Madden. This would take the game to the next level in my opinion. But that's my list as far as 10 things I'd like to see in Access Football 2024 and beyond. Once again, let me know in the comments section what you guys would like to see in the next Access Football game. And if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you guys hit that like button, hit the sub button if you're new as well, and turn your notifications on to join the notification gang. That way, every time I upload a video or go live on this channel, you guys will be notified.